Hey, my name is Milan, and in this video I'll show you how you can use AI to write the test cases for your application. I'm going to use Cursor to write unit tests, integration tests, and functional tests for my .NET application. So let's dive into the code and I'll show you how we can do this. So what I have here is a .NET 9 application implemented using the clean architecture, and it's called Run Tracker, so you can probably guess the problem domain. Now the project itself isn't a complete implementation, but it contains enough interesting use cases that are worth testing. You can see we have the user endpoints and the workout endpoints, and then the respective use cases in the application project. Let me show you what they look like. For example, we have the add exercises use case and the respective command handler. So this is something that we could cover with our test. We could send an add exercise command and observe that we get back a correct result or a failure result in case the workout doesn't exist, like in this example here. Now I don't want to focus too much on the application itself, but I do want to highlight that I already have my test project configured. And this is something that I found works really well when you want to use AI to write your tests. For example, I have the domain unit test project, and inside of it I already have some test cases for the user entity. Now these test cases are pretty simple, but they're going to represent a template that the AI can use to write even more test cases. For example, I'm using the arrange, act, and assert format for writing my test. I also have a specific naming convention that I want to follow, and the test framework I'm using is XUnit. So I want the AI to respect all of these preconditions. I also have some architecture tests to validate the dependencies between my layer, some unit tests for the application project. For example, here is the test class for the start following command, where we are mocking the dependencies, and then we can send our command and observe what is the response that we get back. So you can see we have some interesting test cases here, and we'll see how well the AI can extend this. And I also have some functional tests which use an in-memory API instance and an HTTP client to send a request to my API and validate the response that we get back, which can be an object or an HTTP response message where we can validate the response status code. So let's go ahead and run the test cases that we currently have and see if they are all passing. And you can see that we have 31 test cases in total across the 4 test projects that we have, and you can see that they are all passing. So we have something to work from, and I definitely recommend that you do this if you want to use AI to write your test cases. This way you can define a convention that works well for you, and then you can tell the AI to just extend it. Now let me jump into Cursor and show you what this is going to look like. This is the Cursor IDE, and if it looks familiar, this is because it's a fork of VS Code. And what Cursor allows you to do is integrate with many large language models. For example, you can see I have Claude Sonnet here and GPT-4o. Other than these models, there are many more available, and you can configure which ones you want to use. And you can also configure a cursor rules file where you can define some basic rules that the AI should follow when generating or updating code. For example, I'm giving it some context, the planning rules, the formatting rules, and some additional rules that are specific to how I wanted to write my .NET code. Cursor has a couple of modes to how it can interact with your code base. What I want to show you here is the agent mode, where it's going to iterate over my code base until it satisfies my requirements. So let's open up the tests folder, and inside of it I'm going to pick the user tests, and I'm also going to reference the cursor rules file. So now I can give it a prompt to tell it to write more test cases for my domain unit tests. So let's say this is the prompt I'm happy with, and I'm telling the AI that I wanted to check the domain project. This allows me to specify a folder reference, and then it should scan the entities and domain services defined in this project and write the unit test to cover all of the interesting behavior that we have inside. I'm also giving it an instruction to use the user test project, which is what we have here, as a baseline of what a good test should look like. So we want to use the arrange, act, assert format, and we also want to use the same naming convention for our test cases. So now I can click enter to send this command to Cursor, and the agent is going to start iterating over my code base. For example, you can see it's scanning the directory structure of the folder that I specified, and then it's going to read each of the files inside and figure out how we can write the test cases for these files. This step can definitely take a couple of moments depending on the size of your code base. What I could have done alternatively is tell Cursor to only deal with a subset of the entities that I have inside of this project. For example, I could have only targeted the users folder or the workouts folder, which contains a small part of the overall entities, but in this case it's going to list all of them, and after it's done, it's going to start thinking about the test cases that it should write. So now you can see it completed scanning my entities, and it's going to proceed to generate the test classes. For example, here is the test class containing the tests for the email value object, and you can see the test cases that we have inside. We can review the test cases, and if we are happy with them, we can accept this file. So one thing I don't like with Cursor is how it finishes the end of the file, but this is a nitpick on my end, so I'm going to update that and accept the file. Now if it finds an existing test class, like the name test in this example, it's going to modify the existing file instead of generating a new one. Here are the test cases for the exercise entity. You can see we have some basic use cases inside, and we have the test cases for the workout entity, and we have a bit more use cases inside. And I'm not sure if you can see this. I'm going to temporarily hide the camera, but the agent is going to stop after it reaches 25 tool calls. Now you can tell it to resume the conversation by clicking this action here, and it's going to pick up where it left off and continue generating the test cases. Now depending on the size of your code base, this can take quite a bit, so I'm going to step over this process and just show you all of the test classes that we have in the end. So it generated a couple of more test classes, and you can see it's creating the correct folder structure in my domain unit test project. We're also going to review this from Visual Studio in a moment, but I want to show you what happened here in the follower service tests. So if you're not careful with the instructions, the AI can definitely hallucinate and start making things up. So in this example, I was using nsubstitute for mocking my dependencies, and the AI just decided that it's going to ignore that and start using mock, even though I don't have this library installed. So I'll have to prompt it to fix this. So I can specify the follower service tests, and I can say make sure to use nsubstitute for mocking external dependencies. I don't know why you decided to use mock. So let me send this prompt, and then it's going to take a look at this test class and figure out that it made a mistake, and is going to revert these changes and go back to using nsubstitute. So you can see it fixed the mistakes. So let's say I want to accept this file. I'm going to jump back into Visual Studio because I can't actually run my .NET application from Cursor. If I take a look at the domain unit test project, this is something I noticed that happens with AI. For example, including using statements when they aren't necessary. So you'll have to do some manual cleanup, but the test cases themselves should compile. Now the issues I'm running into here are static code analysis. So let me go ahead and fix this. So now I should be able to compile the domain unit test project. And now let's go ahead and actually run the test cases. And you can see that all of them are passing except one test case. Let's go ahead and check out what this is. And we have a test case here, which is failing because we have a not null or empty check inside of the constructor, but what we're passing here is some white space. So we can either fix this by updating the assertion to also validate for white space, or I can omit this test case if I don't think this is relevant. So let's say I omit it and I rerun my tests, and you can see that all of my test cases are passing. Now let's actually take a moment and examine the test cases that were generated. So for example, for the workout entity, we have a test case for the constructor. We also have a test case for the add exercise method, and validating that it's updating the exercises collection on the workout itself. We have another test case for the add exercise method and a couple of more. Then we have some test cases for removing exercises and making sure that it's removed from the exercises collection, and we also have a test case for the clear exercises method. So the AI is able to look at my entity, the available methods inside, and then generate the respective test cases for these methods. Now let's see what else we can do with Cursor. Let's say I want to generate some unit tests for my application project. I'm going to reference the one test class that I have for the start following command, and I'm going to instruct Cursor to test all of the use cases in my application layer. So I can write a prompt similar to what we had before. I'll specify the cursor rules file so that it has context, and I'm going to give it a prompt to generate the test cases for the application layer. So here's the prompt I'm going to send to the AI, telling it to scan the application project And it's also going to use the start following command test class as a baseline of what I want my test cases to look like. I'm also giving it a note that it shouldn't introduce any new external dependencies, with a special highlight for using and substitute for mocking. Now let me send this prompt, and the agent is going to start working on my request and is going to start writing the test cases. So after a couple of minutes, the AI is going to produce the test cases for my application's use cases, and you can notice that it's even using my two database contexts because I have split context for reading and writing data to properly configure the database context options and then be able to insert the records into the database before we can run my test cases. So there are test cases for my application queries and my commands. The commands are somewhat easier to write tests for because they depend on repositories which we can easily mock. The queries are a bit more complicated because we have to take care of properly setting the data inside of our database contexts. And finally, I can jump into Visual Studio and run my new unit tests, and you can see that they are all passing. If you run into any issues along the way, you'll have to update your test cases, and in the end I'm going to run all of the test cases. I have 66 tests in total, and you can see that all of them are passing. If you want to learn more about working with AI and Cursor, I recommend that you check out this video next. Make sure to smash the like button on your way out, check out my courses to improve your software architecture skills, and until next time, stay awesome.